All right. Give me 1 second. I shouldn't have clicked that yet. It's okay. I can just cut that shit out.
Oh. So we're not live. We're not streaming. This is recorded, or are we?
No, it is both. It's streaming and recording.
Okay.
Yep. So I guess we're ready to go. Everyone good? I can just cut out this nonsense in post-production.
Yep.
All right. You are listening to Left of the Projector. I'm your host, Evan. And this week on the show, we will be talking about John Carpenter's film, Escape from L.A., the sequel to his original film, Escape from New York. And I'm joined by a gaggle of comrades. I have Nelson from the What's Left of the South podcast. I have Brandon from Cars and Comrades, and I have Hugo and Libby. Thank you all for coming on.
Yo.
Yeah.
Hello.
Call me Snake.
Damn it. I missed that.
Perfect opportunity.
Damn it. That was perfect. Fine.
That was good.
Which game would be the most effective? The times he says "call me Snake," or when the guy calls him Hot Shot, which is the better.
If you had Hot Shot as a drinking game, you'd be dead.
Well, it's really front loaded. So like if you do it at the beginning, you're drunk, but then you'll be okay by the end. Like he stops about halfway through.
I would go with do a shot every time somebody says they expected him to be taller.
Yes.
For any time anyone recognizes him, like, oh,
yeah,
like everyone knows.
I think it's
who he
amazing.
Oh, I didn't know you were drinking to die.
in both movies, like there's constantly like it's somehow like this LA is like disconnected from like the entire world, and yet somehow they all know who Snake Plissken, and like they're getting like they have like Wi-Fi in their little like bungalows and shit. I don't know. It's weird.
They all got ham radios
happened
and
in
just talking to each
Cleveland?
other.
What's that?
What happened in Cleveland?
Yeah, they don't ever explain.
They
it.
don't talk about it.
Cleveland.
I love the mystique. It's you don't get to know. It was a big deal.
They let
We're
you
never.
details with Hershey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hershey. Oh, there's a trans person in this. There's a trans person in this movie, so I do think that was interesting.
Yes,
like, that's cool. And like he doesn't.
I was so pleasantly surprised at the way that was handled in 1996. This is when Ace Ventura 1 came out, and what a hot like pile of garbage that was. And this is like the antithesis of that in that time frame. There's like some things to get nitpicky on, but for 1996, holy shit, did they not ham hands that?
I'll agree with that completely. Like, they handled it the exact way that I've always felt like it should be handled, which is it's just not an issue. Just nobody really cares.
He's not mad at her because she's trans. He's mad at her because she double crossed him. Like that's the reason he's like,
yeah,
I can't believe you. It wasn't like, oh, you're a little different now. But that's not why I hate you. It's because you left me. You know, it's like a whole.
Yeah, he did dead name her once, and then she dead named him back too. So
right.
I mean, but still, it was like for 1996. Y'all,
there is that sort of fake out, but that's just him taking her gun away from her. So
yeah. Well, so just as like a backdrop for anyone, like I watched some interviews with Carpenter, and he was saying he wanted to make this movie as if you had never seen the first one, like it didn't matter other than just Snake Plissken being in it, which is kind of smart given it was like 15 years later. But I think that like the opening plot, sort of like the opening sequence, is pretty interesting in the sort of society in the United States has now become just like a Christian nationalist, fascisty kind of state.
One thing I wrote down was, what the hell did LA do to that guy? What did LA do to that president? Why was he so like, fuck you, LA? Like there's so many other places. That made me question.
Well, I could speculate that like even the modern like our shift towards a theocratic state hates so much media because it's woke. So like I could see him hating it just because it's the antithesis of his like good Christian values of like, you know, war and hatred. But also, like, did he hate it that much? I just thought that that's where the prison was because there was an earthquake and it fell off of California.
No, he said that before that happened. He was like, LA, you're gonna be ravaged, LA, because you're not like with God or whatever. And then LA had a big old, like, they made it through Y2K, but then had a problem with the earthquake at a 9.6, I think it was.
Which, oh my God, that would shake LA straight off of the fucking coast. Like, what is the largest earthquake ever recorded? I think it's less than that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like the scale for an earthquake is like orders of magnitude. Like, so you know, a 9 is not 1 more than 8. It's like 10 more than 8, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's a 9.6 would be something absolute. Like 10 would just split the earth in half, sort of thing. Like
under the South
the biggest earthquake ever recorded was a 9.5 in Chile in 1960.
Shit.
And that's is that what got Allende?
Pinochet made the earth shake.
It was his giant helicopter.
Oh, but
No. Yeah. But you know, actually, I had a theory when I was watching the opening of the movie is that they seem to have like crazy weapons. What if they had actually had launched some kind of like missiles to create the earthquake that caused LA to like go off? That's of course not implied in any sense, but he just seemed like a real scumbag.
Why did we have to go there with 9/11 so soon in the podcast?
That was an unintentional 9/11 joke.
Well, my theory is that the president caused it because he predicted it, right? And then and then the earthquake happened. And then because he predicted it, they amended the Constitution, and now he's the president forever. So like I feel like that he had something like because he was like predicting that it would happen, and then it happened. It was like all planned.
I don't know. It's really
terrible.
hard to like plot theories because the steps from like one thing to another is like you have to like jump so far in the logic to follow the plot train it is very difficult to follow any kind of theory on it. But I'm with you on that. Maybe
I don't want to like just jump straight into like what I'm feeling like is the intense stuff, but I'm just gonna do it because I feel like I know Evan and I have talked about it before. Like John Carpenter feels like he's generally just trying to make a fairly neutral movie. Like he'll make social commentary, but he's not like leaning hard towards like, oh, capitalism or communism. He's fairly unideological, which makes it extra fascinating that the year that this movie takes place and the group that is the enemy of the United States is the Shining Path. And that is the first year that the Shining Path had effectively broken down to a smaller party and became an actual communist party in Peru. Like before that, they were like the terrorist organization that we know as Shining Path. But starting in 12 or 13, they actually started to work to gain the get peasants in Peru and in South America to side with them, realizing that they had obviously done a lot of horrendous shit. And so here they are, just the villain is the Shining Path, which is never labeled as a communist party, but it has somehow united all of the third world against the United States.
And he looks like Che Guevara.
Oh my God, yeah, 100%.
and like they're like Cuba and Peru, they're all gonna gang up on us and like attack all at once or whatever.
Wolverines.
For no reason except for world domination. They just want like they have no agenda, you know. Like I love how he like makes them like Che Guevara but has no theory at all. He's just like, yeah, no, just everybody party, man. Like everyone
he loves basketball.
Everyone.
Yeah. Oh
yeah. He really loves basketball.
They're like, we're gonna have gladiators, all right, but they gotta do basketball about it.
So, fun fact about that I looked up: Kurt Russell practiced playing basketball like on set in between like takes in between stuff because he wanted to make every single shot, including the full court shot at the end. So that is him.
The full court shot is obviously CGI.
No, he made
it's
it.
not. It's real.
No, he made it. He actually made it.
Yeah. Then why is it so obviously CGI?
Because it's
I'm
Kurt
going to
Russell.
tell you right now, if it was CGI, you would know because the CGI in this movie is terrible. I mean,
That's why.
Where's the underground submarine shot?
That was so great.
He's like, he keeps like fucking revving it and going faster. Like, Snake, slow down. He's like, suck it, and he just fucking goes and breaks over Universal. I heard that was a nod to him. Carpenter was in beef with Universal. So his little jab at Universal was Snake submarine hitting the tower.
And the Jaws shark pops out.
He made it. I looked it up.
I was
He
watching
made
it by myself and audibly laughed when the shark came up.
The shark from Echo the Dolphin.
But
That's a deep cut, man.
Yes. I read the same thing, Nelson, that he practiced basketball for 2 months. Which is kind of funny because he has like no game in like his dribbles, like his hand ball.
Absolutely horrible.
The half court shot is like a football. He's like, whoa, you know, like not really a.
I made a meme one time.
But I love that. That's the thing that Cuervo wants him to do. It's just such a fun. He's like, no. I wrote this
You
down.
can't play basketball, Snake. You're not Larry Bird.
Snakes can't play basketball. They don't have arms.
He has no depth perception. He can't
there's no way Snake can ball, right? Like guys, there's no Snake can't ball, right? All right. Put him out. No, I love.
I mean, to be clear, he can shoot, but he cannot ball like that.
That's true.
Who is that? Who is the
survived Cleveland? You may have escaped from New York, but this is LA, and you're about to find out that this city can kill anybody.
Who is the woman he meets like halfway through that?
Oh my god!
I want to be in that crowd so bad. I want to be in a crowd with AK-47s. Just shooting them in the air, man.
Oh, can we comment on the fact that like the previous guy who loses the basketball thing, everyone starts shooting at him, but they're standing in a circle.
They do that twice. They do it twice.
That is not how a firing squad works, my dudes.
Nope.
That's how a Polish
also none of Snake's gun is.
Just brought up the scene with the woman, okay, that he meets halfway through the movie. My favorite part of the entire movie is when she's like, "It's not so bad here." Pop.
Boom.
Oh yeah.
I made a meme with that picture of them together.
I had to pause the movie, stand up and walk around my room for a minute, and then come back to the movie because it's not so bad here. Boom. For nothing. Like,
I felt so bad when she died. I was like, yeah, this is the great, cool movie couple. And then boom, damn it. I made a meme about them all looking like every couple in Portland. I was like, what does every couple in Portland look like this? And it was Snake Plissken in Utopia.
Well, no, it was the what else was I gonna say?
No, not Utopia. She's talking. You're not talking about the president's daughter, right?
Taslima.
Oh no,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about what's her face with the bangs? I totally forget. What was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
was it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Taslima, that was it. Not Utopia. Utopia's the daughter. Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to mention, since we were talking about the beginning and like the Christo-fascist president, apparently they literally were modeling him after Pat Robertson. He was like supposed to like look like him too, and now it makes so much more sense.
Yeah, because the presidential election, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and and I also thought it was interesting that they specifically say he's from Lynchburg, Virginia, which is like
that's where our listeners are from.
What's that? Oh, a lot of your listeners.
That's all where all of our listeners are from.
It was like a big Confederate, hub.
Yeah, I think I've heard that.
Yeah.
Which like
I was also going. Oh no, go.
Oh, I was just going to comment. Like, watching this for the show was the first time I've seen this movie in so long. I forgot how stacked the cast is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dude, when it, like,
track slaps.
I wish
Stacey
Steve
Keach,
Buscemi had
man.
longer. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell.
Dude, I definitely didn't
Bruce
recognize Bruce Campbell. Like, it was when he spoke where I was like, "Holy
It's
fuck,
the
that's Bruce
doctor, yeah.
Campbell."
Did
Yeah.
you all notice what's his name?
Leland
Gary
Orser
Busey in the plastic surgery dungeon?
No, that's not real.
I don't know. He's very convincingly Gary Busey.
Yeah, there's a couple that look
He
pretty
does
weird.
look like Gary Busey.
Hold on, I took a picture of it. I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on.
There is
What
an
are you gonna say,
unconfirmed thing that supposedly Isaac Hayes is in the background of one shot of this.
I think it's true. I've read that too.
Look at him.
He does look like Gary Busey.
Oh my
Be
God.
nice to Gary Busey.
Is
Poor
this
Gary
Sylvester
Busey.
Stallone or no?
Ooh.
Oh, oof.
A little bit, but definitely Gary Busey for sure.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I have a friend who met Gary Busey when he lived in LA, and the story that he told me about meeting him has changed my view of Gary Busey forever. Which was just that he walked into the store that my buddy worked at and was like, "Do you know who I am?" And he's just like, "Oh God, not this bullshit." "Yes, I know who you are." And he's like, "Do you know where I live?" And then my friend was like, "What?" He's like, "Could you take me home? I'm lost."
Oh, yeah.
And then,
Fucking Busey.
then his fucking manager walks up and he's like, "Don't worry, this happens sometimes. It's all right, Gary. We'll get you a cab."
Holy shit.
Come on, Grandpa.
Always-
Let's get you to the home.
Always wear your helmets, kids. That's the moral of the story is always wear your helmet.
Yeah.
I was in
Oh.
blue chips. All right, Grandpa, come on. Like, just naming me.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
My favorite.
Plastic
no,
surgery
go-
dungeon. There was the eye dwarves, not hors d'oeuvres, but eye dwarves that like she brings around on
Oh,
a tray.
nice, yes.
Enjoy that.
I also think
I-
that it's funny that when he goes into that part of the city and he's hiding from them, they reminded me of Jabba's from like Star Wars because they were wearing the hoods, they were looking for parts, and they're just kind of faceless. I also when he catches Kurt Russell, he's like looking at him. As soon as he's like, "Oh crap," and they catch him, I was like, he was just kind of like, it reminded me of Jurassic Park. He was like, "Clever girl, the raptor, and the fucking hunter."
And how
from
the
the
net
side.
like
So I was like, "Oh, that's just Jurassic Park." It's so genius.
and how the net just destroyed his transponder. Just like that's all it's
Right. Yeah, they're like, we
Which,
can't
like-
get a read on him.
him like walking into the thing. How was no one on the island like fucking rat? Look at him! Like they put it home right away.
Well, because he's Snake. Like they all knew.
I guess, but
Yeah, I feel
He
like they
survived
assume he's
Cleveland.
on some like nefarious plot that's gonna like actually be good for them or something. I don't know.
I love when he finds out that the like Plutoxin 7 virus or whatever that he's got is just like a cold. Which honestly, like that seems really on point too. Like that America would like try really hard to create this thing and just it be shitty and not work at all.
Yeah.
It was funny because I was saying I was thinking as it was happening, it's kind of like the U.S. military. It's like they're offering like Snake something that they should be offering him for free, like education or healthcare, but they're like, but you have to go over there and kill these people to get that thing,
you have
and
to
they're
go
like
kill the
coercing him.
president's daughter about this.
Yeah.
Kill the president's daughter. Yeah, like what the but like they put him in this situation. You know what I mean? It's not like he wasn't sick, right? They're like, we're gonna make you sick, and now you have to
they're
like work for
We're gonna
us.
scratch your
Yeah.
hand and you're gonna die.
Depending on this mission that you do, but we're gonna make you sick and you're gonna die in 10 hours, so you have to do it fast. Like that seems like it's benefiting nobody. to do that.
Joke's on you, Mr. President. I'm a millennial.
It's like everyone knows you can't get across LA in 9 hours. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. That was the most unrealistic thing about the whole movie. How I was able to get across LA in that time.
Well, there's that, and there's like, so they're like, okay, we're sending everybody, like, they're like, you can't even eat red meat, like, no one's having sex. Like, there's like this laundry list of like very ridiculous laws that make, and then you get sent to LA. But like, there's only like 400 people there. Like, if you they had the stadium, there's only like 40 people there for the gladiator thing. Like, at any point there would be, it would be so much more populated if everyone in America who was eating red meat and like gay people getting down, like not getting married or whatever, and then they get sent to LA and there's only 400 people. I think
they were taking the chair. They're like, oh, you guys can take the chair.
Oh, I forgot about the chair.
That is so fucked up.
Maybe they got sent to New York or Cleveland.
Right.
If I had to choose between Dystopia LA, Dystopia Cleveland, Dystopia New York, I don't know. I think of how bad Dystopian Cleveland had to be for them not to make that movie. Like, for no one, like, I want to go to New York, LA.
Like, it's cold
fuck
here,
Cleveland.
shit,
Well, truth be told, if I had to choose between Dystopian LA and regular LA, I think I would go Dystopia.
Yeah, I was like, that's another thing.
It- A lot of parts of town looked like a party.
Just don't say out loud how much you like it, because you'll just get clapped right in the chest.
Exactly.
But that's true of wait, are you talking about regular LA or Dystopia LA?
Yes.
Yes.
Also, I love how the nod that like the plastic surgeon dungeon is in Beverly Hills. Like, it's beautiful. And like the way they described it, like they just got addicted to plastic surgery and their parts fell off and they had to keep replenishing their skin. I was like, all right, John, like we get it.
It's funny. I just saw this article about some like billionaire who's been like diffusing blood with his like son and grandfather to like look younger. And I'm like, holy shit, this is literally these fucking people in this movie.
And his name was Jeff Bezos.
No, he eats the adrenochrome thing, I think.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
who?
So we've hit 9/11. We've hit adrenochrome. What's next on our list of like stuff we gotta?
Who was he surfing with?
Peter Fonda.
That was it.
Peter Fonda.
Okay, it's Peter Fonda. Yeah. Because I'm looking at the cast list right now. Pipeline, yeah. But like that whole surfing bit was just fucking hilarious.
So they did hang gliding. He did basketball to escape LA. He did hang gliding. He did also surfing while trying to do a car chase with Steve Buscemi to get out of LA.
He succeeded. He caught up to Steve Buscemi, landed on the back of the car, and then kicked, like fucking hit him, and like got in the driver's seat. It was a complete success. I think that was my favorite part of the movie.
He stands up on a surfboard the first time he tries with a shot leg. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's true.
And as like just to represent my show for a second here, how the fuck did a car stay in that good of shape in Dystopia LA?
How did
everyone
in that good of shape?
He works for Cuervo. That's why.
Dude, fuck that, man. If you pay attention to the background, there is not one car in that movie made after like 1965 or something. Like, there's like a chop top Merc just cruising down the LA River at one point. like really sick high-end custom shit that people are just like, yeah, this is what we drive. It gets 6 miles to a gallon, but gas isn't real, so whatever, fuck it.
The cars run on vibes, I think.
It's like in Havana where they just all have like the 1950s cars. It's like just keep them running.
Well,
that was actually fair, but at least they were getting oil from Venezuela for a while.
Yeah, true.
Well, I saw that the CGI was so bad in part because I guess the people they brought on to do the CGI had not really done it before. I guess they had spent all their money.
It cost $14 million to do that CGI.
Wow, they should get their money back.
I mean, I'm looking at it now. The budget was $50 million, and in the box office, it only made like $25 million. So
the studio basically killed it. They're like, we don't want this movie to succeed.
Oh.
And Kurt Russell got paid $10 million out of that $50 million, so he made 25%, 20%.
The other crazy thing is Buscemi didn't want to do this movie
for that role. Give him some credit.
True.
That's true.
That's
Well,
true.
Buscemi only did this movie because he needed the money to do Reservoir Dogs with.
Oh,
So he was like,
that's
"Let me
that's
just
kind of
do
sick.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he
All right.
basically was
And
like, I'll take the
also-
couple mil for this.
Buscemi did an amazing job. I
He was
absolutely believed that he was what was his name? The
Map of the
Map to
Stars
the
Eddie.
Stars, Map to the Stars Eddie. Dude, every time he was in the scene, it was just that it was a great scene. You know what I mean? He just did such a good job every time he popped up. When he hit him with the nipple darts. And then my favorite part is that after that scene, when Kurt Russell wakes up, Steve Buscemi is trying to negotiate with Cuervo and saying, like, when he takes over the U.S. because he put him Snake, like, can he have Wisconsin? Like, he's trying to negotiate a deal. He can have Wisconsin.
He's like, I like cheese curds, man.
That feels like a very Steve Buscemi move to want Wisconsin of all fucking places.
Oh.
The randomness of the things in this movie, like the money they were taught, like when they were
Bluebacks.
talking with her, that it was like greenbacks or bluebacks. Like what?
I low key.
Never roll until
I sort of feel like it didn't excel at this, but a lot of that kind of thing is really good world building, where you're like, you don't necessarily fill the person in. You're just like constructing this like big thing. Like, and that's why I think the Cleveland thing works. It works so well that we're all at some point like, what the fuck happened in Cleveland? I need to know, but you don't get to know.
This is the most interested people have been in Cleveland in so long.
ever.
They don't even know what Cleveland is. They're just like, what?
I thought Cleveland was where
thing-
Cincinnati was at flip flop for the longest time. Then I was like, oh, wait a minute, it's actually the other way around. It was like Drew Carey and Escape from LA are the only things people know about Cleveland.
Oh, I know about Cleveland, but I ain't telling y'all shit.
Well, so a funny thing that I also saw the Kurt Russell. Apparently, he referred to this movie as like a movie where I just wanted a cigarette because like he can't have a cigarette the entire time because
The whole
it's like they're
time.
illegal. Even in like this like dystopian LA, they don't even have fucking cigarettes.
Dude. And then he finds one on the ground. He finds an American cigarette on the ground at the end.
Oh God. Speaking of Portland,
They're just like cigarettes and shit just lying around.
No, I mean, if you're gonna find a cigarette laying on the ground in California, it's gonna be organic.
yeah, fucking American spirits. Oh my
Well,
God.
the other
The,
thing is right
Well,
in the beginning
it would have been a clove, but okay.
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
it was all brown. It was all brown. I love how he tries to kill the guys right away. Like every chance he gets. Like they put him in a room and he just tries to tackle them, and they're like, haha, we thought of that. We're holograms. We're actually in the other room. And then he's like, are you gonna be at the drop? No. He's like, good. Tries to shoot him. He's like, ha, we thought of that. The first round has all blanks. I'm like, if they could have done that for like 3 or 4 more times, oh my God.
He could have easily switched out that clip real quick and just been like pew pew pew.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, why didn't you switch it out? They're like, haha, we thought of that. That's not the real LA. Now we're sending you to LA. Like every single time Snake's trying to get out of it, like, it was ridiculous.
Did you notice the kids like waiting to go, like waiting
Yes.
at the suicide booth for like their parents to go to LA?
Yeah, that was
And then there was like kids in LA. There was like a couple of them, and they were just shooting each other for nothing.
yeah, the whole like idea where they refer to them as undesirables and unfit people, basically. And I feel like that was very much someone asked Carpenter in some interview if like there's comparisons to this movie to like Trump. Like they asked him in like 2016 or something. He's like, I don't want to make that comparison, but like I guess you could, you know. So I mean, it's kind of like the same like theocratic, you know.
So blueprint for DeSantis's presidency.
I mean, they had to use like the eagle symbol, like if they couldn't make it more direct.
Yeah, the police symbol was pretty much what I don't know the name, the Nazi symbol, but the eagle thing.
But we all recognize it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty clear.
And it's
That-
spray painted on. It's not even like nice.
Yeah, it never ceases to like blow my mind that he's trying so hard to be apolitical, but being so intensely political at the same time.
Right.
Like, how did he come upon naming the group the Shining Path? I can't get past this.
Right? It's just like, I don't want to be political, but the antagonists are communists in this movie.
Well, and the person and the daughter's name was Utopia, which I found kind of like,
God,
Yeah.
so this guy's a theocratic, like Christian right winger, and he named his kid Utopia.
Hands down, cringiest part of the movie.
It would have been like a movie with like extra letters in it.
Yeah.
YEW Utopia, like.
Why?
It's just like a bunch of. It's like hashtag Utopia.
I like that she got radicalized by Cuervo on the internet.
This is why we have to stop the woke agenda.
Unlike
Dude, she was crazy too. She was like, "Now is the time to demand the surrender of the president." So like, she was like, at first when I first started watching it this time, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." But then I realized Cuervo has like no plan. He's just like, "Get her over
So,
here."
like,
And then
when they did like the VR of like her escaping from like Air Force One, that she just opens a lower hatch and like Mario tubes out of there.
Straight up, fucking DB Cooper's out of fucking Air Force One.
Well, it was like she did kind of have this like legitimate like gripe, to like let people back into America, like. Stop telling people who are like immigrants they have to leave.
Like they were like based for a little bit, and then he just was like, "No, we just kill people for fun with this basketball game." And then she was like, "Whoa, this is too much."
That's what happens to the LA Clippers. It's so bad that it started to like death basketball.
I gotta say, the
So
game
now instead of the LA Clippers, they're the LA Clappers.
the game.
Yeah, I think this, as far as big budget movies go, this might be the closest to like this is just like 2 steps away from being like full blown actual communist propaganda. Like if Cuervo was not a shitbag and they just slightly reframed it so that he wasn't the antagonist, if he could have very easily been made the protagonist of the film, and this would have just been like a workers of the world unite kind of film.
Well, Hershey was pretty base too, and she did all right. Like, and she was like trans and like was ready to. She's like, let's get out of here and go take over. I don't know. She was kind of. She could be viewed in that aspect, is what I'm getting at.
I mean, it was literally like his attempt to like liberate the third world or the global south. Like, they didn't have to attack America. Like, that's the thing that they made it be. Like,
No, they did.
But
how the fuck are you going to liberate the third world without attacking America?
Well, I guess that's true.
Right.
He was really got to Los Angeles. So
anyone listening right now, everyone is nodding in agreement but not saying anything.
Yeah, sorry.
In Minecraft.
No, I still think that Cuervo had. I was about to call him Guevara, but Cuervo had. He had, like you said, like if they changed the script a little, like it would have made more sense. His whole fight, the whole battle, like made a lot of sense. I was pretty much on his side until we realized that, like, until he had his little parade, and then we realized, like, oh, he doesn't really have like a job, like any plan. He just kind of
I'm
wanted
so glad you brought up
domination.
the parade. I'm so glad you brought up the parade because I have things to talk about. Okay, the motorcade that he had, they were all going at varying speeds. So like the motorcycle top speed that they're like chasing, and then they come up upon like a singular horse it's just trotting along like with a decorative like the horse reins or whatever, and then between Cuervo. I'm sorry.
Jose Cuervo.
I can't.
No, Cuervo Jones.
Yeah. Cuervo. That I almost called him Jose Guevara. Like that's how bad it fucked up for me. Then so they had full speed motorcycles, a horse going slow, pickup trucks, and then Jose Guevara was in the front. Like, what is why? And then explosions were mixed into, like, and like, Evan, you mentioned that it was like one of the most difficult movies for him to make, and like, yeah, it like how that is difficult to make that happen in a movie.
They also would have eaten that horse. Just saying.
Oh yeah.
They
Someone
would've
was on
eaten that
drugs.
yeah.
Someone was fucked up while they were making this movie.
Maybe that was like a show of wealth. Like, I have one alive horse.
Oh, like when a rich person has like a tiger in their living room.
Yeah, but it's a horse.
Or like in the
what was
Renaissance,
up
they
with
had
the
like a
doll
pineapple.
heads? There were like doll
what?
heads everywhere. What was?
Yeah.
Oh
doll
yeah.
heads?
Oh shit.
But that was, you know, at the time, that was kind of rad. Like, that was like tank girl aesthetic, you know?
I was going to say there was a weird period in the 90s where doll heads on everything made you edgy.
Yeah, it was kind
Okay.
of like, it fits in the
Yeah.
It is not an aesthetic that has aged gracefully.
no. And like, it doesn't make sense for sure. Like, even then didn't make sense, but I think it was an aesthetic.
My other favorite thing about the parade is when they have so Cuervo, like, he's like, wait, what the fuck is going on back there? And he shoots the thing at him to like knock him out, and then he's like, kill him. And 4 guys come up on Snake, and Snake's like, let's do Bangkok rules. And everybody automatically knows what that means. They're all like, oh, Bangkok rules. Okay, let's back up.
Oh my God.
Nobody shoots till the scan hits down, and then shoots them all. So like, what that teaches me is like, don't ever play Bangkok rules with anything. If you're, doing anything,
you're just gonna make up rules. This is...
No, I'm not
Did anyone catch early in the movie? I forget what they were talking about, but like they referenced New Las Vegas, Thailand.
No.
No, there's an early part of the movie where they even reference it as like a colony, like a U.S. colony or something. And early in the movie, they briefly mention the existence of New Las Vegas, Thailand.
That's so wild.
The Bangkok rules thing made me think about it.
Yeah.
Well, they mentioned that Pliskin had been in Vietnam, right? Like that's where he had like been or something, right? And it's very strange that apparently he's like not in trouble for the stuff that happened there. He's in trouble for the stuff that happened in Cleveland.
Well, no, he's also in trouble for the stuff that happened there because they explicitly called out that he was in trouble for like what is it, like dueling or gunfighting for money?
He's a gunfighter. Yeah, they did mention that.
Bangkok rules.
You know what? He always wins. He always wins because he plays Bangkok.
Because he makes up the rules as he goes.
Yeah.
And that's why he's
And
in
everyone-
trouble. Okay, that makes sense.
Everyone wants
You
to be
have no
cool with him,
honor,
so whatever
sir.
rule he says, they pretend they know what it means. Because
This
I
guy
was
with
like,
the eye
how do
patch
they
and
know
the gun.
what Bangkok rules are? They're from LA.
This dude with the eye patch and all leather with the gun obviously knows what he's talking about. These Bangkok rules.
It's like this is like one of the coolest guys I've ever seen in my life. Let's hear what he's got to say.
His name's Snake. He's so cool. He plays basketball.
He's definitely not going to kill me right now.
So another line. I don't know if you caught this, but when he went right before that woman Taslima, whatever her name, gets shot, her reason for having been in LA was because she was Muslim. She's
Yeah.
like, I was Muslim and living in like.
Okay, so she was Muslim, and now she's in LA. Now she's not Muslim anymore. Like,
Now she's dead.
Like, so she's not practicing. She was like, I was a Muslim then and not now. Which, like, okay, like, I guess even atheists end up on LA, but like it didn't. I don't know. I guess I had questions about that.
I mean, maybe she wasn't full like Muslim yet. She was just she was like starting to get interested. She wasn't like wearing her hijab yet. You know what I mean? She was just like kind of like reading the Quran and like
What if
she wasn't baptized yet. I don't know. I'm sorry.
What if LA is like a symbol for like? What if LA is like a symbol for like just like taking everything that you believed in and just basically believed in and then like stripping it away from you? Because you think about it, Jose, like he like liberates Latin America, right? The global South, and then like gets to LA and he's like, he's a dick, right? So he was a Muslim in outside of LA, then gets to LA and she's like, so like, I don't know, maybe I'm digging into this too much and it's maybe just whatever. But Carpenter's like, maybe LA is supposed to just like strip you of what makes you you, and then you just become another,
And you just my reading of it was a lot more rooted in modern America, where they would say, "Oh, why did you get sent to LA?" "Oh, because I was a Muslim." It wasn't because she was Muslim; it was because she was brown. It was as simple as I never thought about that as anything other than just yeah, I'm not white, so they sent me here.
Well, and then she says specifically that LA is the most free place, and we want to be here. It's better than being in those other places because you can do whatever you want. In some sense,
it's a libertarian paradise.
it's the what's the town? The city where they have.
I didn't see
it definitely seems like a paradise.
It didn't strike me as libertarian at all because I didn't see any child sex slaves.
Ah, damn it! They weren't buying heroin with Bitcoin either.
They were shooting each other with guns just for fun.
Maybe the
that's just regular LA.
Maybe the bluebacks were actually NFTs.
God damn it.
They were like, "Oh, I'll pay you in money." Real money?
What was the virus? What was the quote unquote virus they scratched his hand with? What was it supposed to be?
Glutoxin 7.
Okay, that's actually fentanyl. So
it's a good thing he's not a cop, or he'd have fucking died immediately.
Dropped dead right away as soon as he got scratched.
Holy shit!
And
even though we deal with it all the time in ERs and nothing happens.
And the cops that were there near the fentanyl or whatever were just holograms, so they were okay.
Oh shit.
I do not trust that a modern cop would be smart enough to not think that maybe their hologram self could be affected.
But they say LA is like a soulless, now you hear people talk about LA is like a soulless city. So I don't know. I was thinking about that. I was like, LA, why do these people are cool out of LA then go to LA and they're not? We're talking about why what's his face, the leader of the Shining Path, is cool outside and gets to LA as a total dick. And then what's her face was for practicing Muslim out, and then gets to LA. It is just it's LA just sucks your soul out and just takes what you believed in and just washes out of you because it's fucking LA.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
If I could just do one thing to this movie, somebody would have casually mentioned Gonzalo Thought with no addition.
I would have given them a little red, one of Mao's little red books. That would have been great if you just would have held that up one time. It was just we're gonna liberate America, and it's come on, John, you missed it. It would have been great.
So what'd you do to get here? Gonzalo Thought. Heard. Gotcha.
Yes. We're the LA Red Guards.
It would also be cool if we made LA an island for undesirables, but the undesirables were class traders, just landlords, any CEO, any messed up CEOs, and we just reversed it.
Look at us on the other side of the coin.
No, I wouldn't put landlords on LA. I would shoot them.
In the center of the basketball court.
Brandon, they did need if they would have had somebody stirring a cauldron and had you saw a baby arm or something to pop up, that would have been great. Really deep in the.
This is the point where I have to ask if anybody besides me and Nelson knows what the fuck we're talking about.
The imagery of the baby arm popping up in a cauldron was good enough for me.
That's not a joke, though. That's a thing Shining Path did.
Yeah, they allegedly boiled children.
No, we actually looked into it because we were like, "Oh, this is probably propaganda. Shining Path is probably legit." No, not only did they do it, they were proud of it.
Oh,
they were like, "This is what the bourgeois gets," and we're like, "I don't think this is the own you think it is." And Gonzalo Thought was their I don't know anything about Gonzalo thought, but it was like the Shining Path's addition to Maoism.
You're gonna
They're
have
like-
like a severed pig's head at your doorstep tomorrow, or whenever this episode comes out.
Well, the other thing too is
I've earned it.
The plastic surgery dungeon was like there could have been some weird stuff down there. That was a weird.
There was only explicitly weird stuff down there.
There was for sure some weird stuff going on down there.
Someone was getting boiled down there, definitely.
Some sex slaves were down there, probably.
Chairman Gonzalo's down there.
Harvesting adrenochrome.
Yeah, I just Googled on Wikipedia the Shining Path, and I see some of these specific things that they did.
Yeah, so when I say that it was 12 or 13 when like a lot of the party fell apart and what was left was a localized like regional party that actually started doing positive things for Peru. Before that, they were a terrorist organization, and that's not a term I throw around very lightly. They were actually like doing like some monstrous shit. But you know, like yeah, I don't know. I got nothing. They were actually shitty. Like,
yeah, the dude Guzman was like sentenced to prison for life after they were gone. Apparently.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that. I know there was like a one of those like reconciliation, like truth and reconciliation type deals where like stuff, all the stuff came out like on both sides and everything, and like that's when like the stuff came to light about them like murdering. Like boiling babies and like killing sex workers and stuff like that, and then like the other side did like it's like atrocities everywhere. There's no like what is it? The revolution will be a cakewalk. It's just like horrible things happen. When
they would kill members of other Marxist parties that were not their own.
Yeah,
they would kill peasants who didn't support them. Like they were it was the worst form of like leftism because I mean like they were doing this under the pretext of like communism, but it was like instead of converting people to their way of thinking, it was just like we'll just eliminate everyone who doesn't think the way we do.
So maybe Snake Plissken was the good guy the entire movie.
Well, I mean, if you think about it this way, so
yeah, in the end, he certainly was when he was like, "Yeah, hard reset on this shit. We're all set."
Yeah.
And
this movie is intensely political, and it's like green anarchist, like anarcho-primitivist.
I was actually putting Snake in the anarcho like bubble. Like that's definitely what he would be. He's just like, you know what? I don't care. I just want to smoke cigarettes, man. Like shut it. I want to smoke
cigarettes. Call me Snake.
I wonder where I want. No, but at the end, he's like, I'm Pliskin. Right?
No.
At the very end, he's like call me Pliskin. And I'm like, come on.
Isn't it funny that his name is Bob?
What?
Bob Pliskin. That's his name. That's Snake's name. That's why he's like, call me Snake. Because his name's Bob. Like, that's such a bad reveal. You know, not like, you know, like even like Mike or like, you know, like, I don't know. Like, what was
holy shit. Name? I didn't know that.
Wait, so at the very best, his name would be Robert, though.
Robert, yes. But I think in the beginning, he calls him Bob Bliskin. Does he?
Oh man!
So I looked
right.
it up. So
it's
it's SD Snake Plissken, given as SD Bob. Holy shit, his name is Bob. Wow, I would definitely go by Snake if I look that badass and like my name's Bob. It's like, no, dude, my name's Snake.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't know any motherfuckers named Bob that can ball. Like, there's no Cuervo was right to think that this guy was not going to be able to make 10 points in 10 seconds.
I want to know how many takes it took for him to land that full court shot.
That would
but he did. I think it was one take. I think he like the YouTube short that I saw they were explaining. I think it took one take. He just did it.
But he made all the other shots like at different times. Like they filmed it in different sequences.
I got a question to come back to the 9/11 stuff. So is that right? Because I just looked up something and like apparently September 11th is in this canon somehow. Like apparently there was supposed to be a TV series in July 2000. Tribune Entertainment announced plans to adapt Escape from New York into a television series. However, it was canceled in September 2001 due to the 9/11 attacks.
Oh, fuck you.
9/11 was an inside joke.
Apparently, Saudi Arabia hates Escape from New York. That's exactly that's what happened.
I wonder what the TV show was going to use as like their like Armageddon thing to cause it to be like separated.
It was gonna be like Al Qaeda, like bomb something.
They were
like,
like,
no.
"Ooh, it was airplanes, and we should not tell anybody about this."
Do y'all know the thing about how Kermit the Frog calls 9/11?
No.
Come on, I'm the only one who knows about this. In one of the Muppet movies made after 2001, there's like a flashback where like Kermit's like, "What if I had never been born?" and the Twin Towers were still up.
Oh, damn.
So it's like an internet like thing where people are like, "We don't know how, but Kermit the Frog calls September 11th."
It was some movie from like in the late 90s, whatever it was. I don't know, it was like Armageddon or it was something with like meteors or whatnot. And one of them, like they scan like the New York skyline, right? And like the buildings are hit by the asteroids, and like one asteroid like went right through like one of the towers and like clipped the side of the other one. And I was just like, well, we know now that wouldn't have worked out like that. It's like, damn. Whew.
Yeah, the I don't know. I feel like his like Snake Plissken's like final decision to just reset humanity, and like I think it was the president or that colonel who's like, if you do this, there will like all the inventions of humanity will be like destroyed. It's like you literally built this weapon that's caused to do this. So like, what's the point? I feel like it's like a good, you know.
He's like, "All right, yeah, that for
Strong
sure."
feelings on this.
Yep.
Snake Plissken's decision to like just nuke the whole planet, like technologically speaking, is like literally in no way different than like every like edgelord that's just like humans are garbage and should just be wiped off for the like. No, you should have eliminated America technologically so that the rest of the world could have had a fucking shot. You know what? You want to throw Europe in there for good measure? Hell yeah, but
Okay.
but get new like. Do away with America and let the rest of the world have a shot.
He didn't know that
That's-
code. He only knew the everything code, the 666.
I was gonna say the only code he knew was because he was on the treadmill. Remember, they put him on the treadmill, and he's going
Yeah.
like 10 line, and right in front of him, Leland Orser, who's a great character actor, by the way, just shows up in this film for like one scene and explains how to work the Doomsday device. And I think it's funny because he says it right in front of Snake like 3 times. Don't forget the world domination code 666. World domination code 666. Corvo repeats it. He's like, okay, world domination code 666. I got it. You know, it's like everyone's like, so that's the only code he knew. But that's why I don't like Snake, because Snake is a character. He doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't say anything really. He doesn't even speak. You know, he's
Style over substance.
Yeah. He's just not he's like the epitome of an anti-hero. You know, he really is an anti-hero. He doesn't care about anyone. He doesn't care about either side. He doesn't care about the workers. He doesn't care about the rich. You know, he's just like screw all of humanity. And you know, that's why I can't get behind him.
He's the libertarian.
Yeah.
He's the libertarian.
He's the libertarian.
Okay.
You're right.
Does it
He was too libertarian for LA.
And one thing, this is not related, but I really need to get it out. I need to say this is, do y'all remember back in 1996, and I think it was 96, 97 when the mini discs came out? That movie, they had high hopes for those mini discs in that movie, and it tracks for the time. And I just needed to say that out loud to you all.
Well, the perceived pinnacle of technology in the 90s was to just keep making everything smaller. Remember when like a cell phone like the size of a quarter was like the goal? It was just like no, that's
the joke.
yeah.
Zoolander, yeah.
Hello.
Hello. No, yeah,
And they put
But,
nail polish mini disc and expected it to still work.
I think he just needed to make it look right. My problem with that was that it would be textured too much to even like want to like spin or
Yeah.
I'm nitpicking. That's fair.
But yeah, it is. really is a centrist because he's like, see, either extreme is bad, man. Like he's like, oh, the left extreme is like so bad. Like the right wing extreme is, oh, they're the same, man. And he's like, just start over, you know.
The physical embodiment of horseshoe theory.
He's like, they're boiling babies and they have this weapon, so they're liberating the global South, but also killing people in a basketball game. So I don't know.
This was also, I just gotta say, this is also John Carpenter's last film with Kurt Russell. He did five?
4.
Escape from New York, Escape from LA.
Big Trouble,
Elvis,
Little China.
Big Trouble, Little
The
China.
Thing.
So it's just 4.
And the thing.
Thing.
And the thing.
And the thing. So yeah, it was 5, and that's it. This was the last one, right?
And if I remember correctly, this is also John Carpenter's last movie that was good.
What did he make
Well,
after this?
It was
Now I gotta
good.
look
Wait,
that up.
thing it's good. I don't
So the only movie he made after this was Vampires, which was not very good.
Okay, you're right.
And then Ghost of Mars.
Renowned
I don't
for being
remember.
one of the most amazing pieces of cinema ever put to celluloid.
Well, and the other crazy thing too that I didn't know is that Kurt Russell wrote the end to this movie,
Yeah.
Oh,
and so it's his
what?
only like writing.
He did
credit.
Halloween Kills.
So Kurt
No,
Russell.
not directed though.
Oh,
So
okay.
Snake is not the libertarian. Kurt Russell is the libertarian.
That tracks.
Mm,
They are one.
Yeah.
He is Snake Plissken.
He did The Ward.
I
Apparently, he
don't know
directed
if I know that movie.
it.
I mean, he did Cigarette Burns, the short thing for Masters of Horror, but even that wasn't terribly good. Like,
oh, he did do The Ward. I didn't know that. I watched The Ward. It was okay.
now I'm going to look up what that is.
I haven't seen that one actually.
Amber Heard's in it. Funny enough.
Okay.
So I didn't know the whole Amber Heard drama hadn't happened yet. So when I watched it,
Oh yeah, here's and on IMDb, not IMDb, on Wikipedia has like a chart of all the people who are in constantly in his movies. He has a lot of duplicates too. Peter Jason is in 7 of his movies. That's kind of interesting. Oh, but yeah.
So I have a theory too, and I had mentioned it to you, Evan, before. Is so the soundtrack, right? One of the first songs that we hear is a Tool song. I think it's like Sweat or whatever.
Yeah.
And the whole movie made me think of the Anima track from the like album Anima. And I really wonder how much this movie had on that song. There's not much on the internet about it. Like the band does not talk about that shit, but it's like there's like everything that's listed in LA are like highlighted in this movie, listed in the song about LA, and then they're like, oh, fault lines, it's gonna like learn to swim, you're gonna go in the ocean. I don't know, but it really had me thinking about what that band had to do with this song.
And that also makes sense to me. And I don't know if this will make sense to you guys, and I'm not going to explain myself, but I feel like Tool is if a metal band was like the embodiment of libertarianism.
Yeah.
Certainly centrism.
Well, this is the only song they've ever had on a soundtrack too. Like they've
Is it really?
That
I
can't
think I saw
possibly be true.
Is it not true?
Uber.
I said it can't possibly be true, but I don't know. Maybe it is.
I thought I saw that they're like, we don't want to have our songs on soundtracks, but maybe I could be wrong about that. I'll fact check that for everyone.
Yeah, the timing of that like tracks for like having Anima be like they wrote that song based off of at least part of it based off of that movie.
Maybe they were like, we're cool with putting our music in movies, and then they did that, and they were like, fuck, never again.
Yeah.
Maybe.
the one time we put our song in a movie, it flops.
on r/Tool band. Sweat, Escape from LA. A Perfect Circle.
Yeah, when I
has
looked at
stuff, but not.
It's just,
So is that
but
actually
also
true?
I guess so.
it might be. They didn't do anything for the Crow. I feel like they would have been on the Crow album, the Crow
I
soundtrack.
think The Crow was like before them,
Yeah. Right?
like, or at least before
you're
they were
right,
popular.
You're right, the Crow's 94.
So maybe
Yeah.
this was, yeah.
No, because Tool's been around since like 89 or 91.
Yeah, I mean that's why I corrected
will-
myself to say like when they got popular, but I don't even know
Yeah.
There
exactly
was
when
no,
that
no
was.
Tool songs on the Crow soundtrack.
No, I will say if you were Tool and in 1994, 95, you are offered to put one of your songs on a John Carpenter film with Kurt Russell, you know, I would probably be like, yeah, that's pretty badass. I'll do
Yeah, if
that.
somebody's like, "Oh, we're doing a sequel to Escape from New York," I'm like, "Hell yeah, anything you
Hell
need."
Yeah.
right? But
Well,
Good
then
point.
there's another song in I have been a Tool fan for a long time, and maybe that's like something
I was
that-
picking up on
Oh,
that.
whatever.
Yes,
Whatever. Okay.
I was judging you quietly.
Yeah, the fact that you said
Listen,
any other
it's
song
fine.
besides like the
Me
pot
about-
and schism or sober.
Yeah. So
that means you're a fan.
they have a song, it's Hooker with a Penis, and he's like, I sold out long before you ever even knew my name. So like they sold out to be on the movie, and then they made like maybe there's 2 songs in that like album. I'll shut up about Tool. Never mind.
That bass line and schism now stuck in my head. Bring, ding, ding. Oh my god.
So it does look like that's the only song that was
Pleasure.
ever on a soundtrack.
They learned their lesson.
Well, that movie also flopped too. So remember, they're like, fuck this.
We don't have our songs in other movies.
Oh man.
I mean, putting
This movie won't be a hit.
I'm
even
going to
know
be
this.
honest, dude. I saw this movie in high school, and I don't know if I've seen it since. And personally, I thought it was way better than what I remembered.
Yeah.
Maybe I set the bar so low by watching it back then that like when I revisited it, like my expectations were just through the floor. But I enjoyed
In
it.
1996, I was in 6th grade, and I was a 6th grade girl who loved Gavin Rossdale. So I never saw this movie until watching it for this.
Oh, okay. No,
Wait.
in
I'm not going to do that
1996
math. How old are you?
I'm 38.
Okay. Yeah, I'm 39, so that's
No,
we're on the same page.
in 1996, this movie is so cool. Like, I mean, what year did Total Recall came out? It gave me like Total Recall
Oh
vibes.
my god. Yeah.
That was the 80s, wasn't it? Like late 80s, early
That
90s.
was 89, like 88, 89. So it was like that
Okay.
stretch between like 88 to like 93, like those. So you had like Total Recall, Starship Troopers, RoboCop, like all was just fucking amazing.
Con
So
Air.
many good movies.
That's
So
all
when
weird, actually.
Escape from LA came out, I really thought, as a kid, I remember seeing it young and being like I think the scene in the trailer is the Bangkok Rules scene where he like throws the can up and they're dead before the can hits. And then tsunami surfing and wind surfing. Here the wind's coming and they jump on and then
The wind's
everything. The helicopter's bulletproof.
I'm surprised there was no base jumping.
I mean, there could.
What other extreme
There was
sport
just-
can we throw in this movie?
Like the movie.
Would you have
really
been, like-
cool.
If
Just as a
he had been
kid-
skateboarding everywhere, that would have been perfectly reasonable for 1996.
And I
But
think,
he would
like
need a
Libby
walk.
says, I think the most impressive thing is surfing for the first time after being shot in the leg. Like,
Mm.
Yes. And he
Yeah.
gets
Yeah.
right up, and he does great. How
Dude,
the
fuck it.
fuck-
I think it would be easier for me to surf for the first time if I had just been shot in the leg than if I had the flu. At least when you get shot, you got like an endorphin rush. I'm
Yeah,
such
yeah.
a whiny bitch when I have the flu.
It's the fentanyl. He had it in his system. He couldn't feel the gunshot. He's fucking surfing, man.
That's right. They knocked him up with all the painkillers. He wasn't feeling a fucking thing in his leg, man.
Well, and Peter
Also, we
Fonda's
were
up there, like with him too, teaching him.
radicalized back then. So sorry, Evan, what?
I would just say Peter Fonda's up there teaching him what to do. Like he gave him a lesson. It's like he's good to go.
Yeah. If somebody shoots me and then immediately Easy Rider's like, hey, you want to go surfing? I'm going to say yes.
Holy shit.
Peter Fonda fit right in that role. He's like, yeah, man, here it comes. It's the big one, man. Like, just don't fall off.
Totally
Tsunami
radical,
surfing's
dude.
no joke,
Fucking
man.
go.
And he just like lets his car, like his little golf cart car, just get like wiped away.
That was a fucking dune buggy. That was a sick little dune buggy he had.
I was watching it so closely because I wanted to see what the CGI was going to do when the wave hit it, and absolutely, disappointed me. It just kind of like Sega game, like a Sega. Sega should have done the CGI for this movie.
Well, they were talking about having Sega do the CGI, but Sega was insisting on putting all these Echo the Dolphins and everything.
They didn't have enough
They put
ramps
the
for
shark in.
Sonic.
They put the shark in.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
And
I think. Oh, go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say that another reason, like the villain seemed like you're rooting for Snake the whole film, because especially if you're not radicalized or anything, you're as a kid, both sides seem bad. Cuervo seems like a scumbag, like criminal, and then you also got the president who's like making everyone undesirable. So like from a kid's perspective, Snake is the hero. He is the anti-hero, but he is my hero because that's the only person that you want to win. But now looking back, like no, absolutely, I would have been in the crowd with the AK-47, rooting for Cuervo, because that would make more sense than being in the US.
It'd be like if we were kids and watching like fucking Black Panther and be like, oh yeah, Black Panther's now we're just the fucking Killmonger was 100% right. Yeah, fuck all those guys.
I would have 1,000% been one of those skank women in the alley like that. I would be. That's my spot there. That's weird.
And to address like that early scene, we've already addressed that like a fairly progressive attitude towards a trans person in this movie. All of the sex workers are treated with respect. Like they're just hanging out. Like they're I won't say they're fully fleshed out characters because they're kind of fleeting, but they're just friendly and nice, and he's respectful towards them and takes their help.
You can tell they're not fighting with each other. Like they're like all like they're hanging out together. Yeah.
So it's not really a libertarian paradise, but like a libertarian dream, because it's what they think would happen.
Also, as a side note, when he goes into like the brothel or whatever, and the one dude's like throwing knives and follows him outside, and it's just like, turn around when I'm talking to you. That guy, that is the guy who was the head nerd from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
This cast is
it was stacked. I don't know how it ended up so bad. Also, I mean, I liked it, but it's not good,
How did they get that brothel so clean? Like everything was pretty clean in there. It was like this perfectly where are they getting their supplies from in this they're going on Amazon and be like, yep, we need some more 409 spray.
I don't know if you need to know this or not, but you don't need much things to like have sex, right?
Right. Yeah.
You don't.
I mean, the
I don't know if that's the kind of clean he's talking about.
I know. I'm just kidding. Where they're getting their supplies for.
Yeah, because
they have cars and shit. They have food apparently. It seems like they have a pretty nice black market there.
No, he's talking like the Mr. Clean and shit. Like the brothel is actually well maintained and upkept.
Like they have candles and stuff.
It's not sticky.
Dude, I have one note that we haven't mentioned yet, and I kind of want to because it's funny to me. It's not super crazy. Does anyone remember what the name of the weapon that he was retrieving was?
The black box.
The Sword of Damocles.
Yes, that's right.
I had to look up what that was because I'm like, no, that's not something that John Carpenter picked arbitrarily. It's like this whole thing about the burden of power, blah, blah, blah. But the actual Sword of Damocles was a thing where, like a story, it wasn't real, but it was a sword suspended over the king by one hair from a horse to remind the king of the constant threat that he is in.
Huh.
So I thought that... No, but it was one hair from a horse so that it could break at any time. And if you named a weapon that, you would have to be fucking stupid because they named it something to constantly remind themselves that it might bite them in the ass at any moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I thought that was interesting and I killed the vibe.
So they basically were they were condemning themselves to a life of libertarian anarcho
Ugh.
communism.
I mean, it's really hard to transition from sticky brothels to like talking about like a weapon that's gonna
Greek
kill
mythology and shit.
big swords.
Fair enough.
Hey.
Sorry, I tried to get a little highbrow there with Escape from LA.
So I googled that too, and apparently Kanye West has a song where he refers to the sword in it. So there's also that.
Well-
I've ruined it even worse.
Well, that can't be bad.
Yeah,
Let's go back and talk about the brothel.
Yeah.
yeah, that part's I'm just kidding.
I like that the guy that he went into the brothel to find had been nailed to a cross or something.
Yeah, they were like, he's a fucking
Target
rat.
practice.
They stuck like a candelabra through him. Like he was like hanging on to a candelabra.
Oh, hell yeah.
And then he was just knifing him for fun.
Yeah, he was like, "You can't hit 3 in a row."
He's like, do you get like a door prize if you do?
Doesn't
Like you get like a stuffed animal?
It's rigged. You never get the fucking stuffed animal. It's like a just straight up carnival game. Oh man.
It's those like gag knives where the blades like spring loaded into the handle.
Like he pulls it out, there's no blood on it.
It was crazy. There was no recoil in any of the guns.
No.
You notice, like when they give Snake a big gun, and when he shoots it, it's just like it looks like it weighs like 100 pounds, and he's holding it with one arm and just like nothing. And
Well, listen,
Okay.
it's Snake. You have high expectations for him.
You can't talk about a movie from the 90s and their treatment of firearms and expect like anything. Your standard magazine holds roughly 600 to 700 rounds.
Yep.
There's no recoil.
Nope. And like you said, the 360 thing, like no muzzle awareness in this film.
No,
Like
just
everyone's just shooting willy-nilly.
Yeah.
Like the
And
scene.
when they get
Okay,
on the
another scene in the
helicopter, when they get on
Oh,
the
yeah.
helicopter, there's like 50 people shooting at him. Not a single bullet lands. Nothing. And I'm like, maybe it's like armored, but then like Hershey sticks her head out the window, and I'm like, listen, it's gonna be.
They are shooting like probably like the worst kind of AKs you could have.
Well, then,
Yeah,
and Steve Buscemi like shoots
like
him in the
smooth.
I have the worst AK you can have, and I could still hit a helicopter
Yeah,
from 100
true.
feet away.
Something would have gotten hit.
There's the scene in the parade too, like where Snake is shooting people and the cars are immediately blowing up. But then Snake gets shot while he's on the motorcycle and he just kind of like slides off.
They're all
no
Ford
big deal.
Pentos. They just blow it up constantly.
Yeah.
But then
And then
the
there's the one
motorcycle
guy in the
away from him and
truck
blows up.
that's like shooting and Snake jumps on it and it's like he freaks out. He never shoots. Snake is in front of him and he never shoots. Snake just shotgun, or it's the guy on the horse. He's got an Uzi and he never shoots it. And Snake gets in front of him and shotguns him in the chest.
This
And it's like
horse trotting along kills me. It's just
Yeah.
one fucking horse and going slow in the middle of a motorcade going as full speed.
To get a little inside baseball on that, that is blowing my fucking mind because I was working on a movie one time where there were horses on set and we had to have safety meetings at the beginning of the day, like don't talk to the horse, don't come within 10 feet of the horse, don't look the horse in the eyes, don't like it was like this laundry list of like if the horse is even aware that you exist, it might freak out and kill everyone in the room. Like literally they were like, oh god, do not let any plastic bags around the horse. That was a real talk that was had with us.
Do not
Because
breathe around the horse.
like if a
That's
plastic
why
bag were
elbows
to like
the horse.
catch a breeze and like go across the field of vision of the horse, it might freak it out to the point where it would like run. And I'm like, how do you have a motherfucker with an Uzi on that horse? Like, am I used to some prissy horses? Like,
Yeah. Maybe that's why there was just like one horse that was like deaf and they were like, all right.
It was like John Carpenter's personal horse.
That horse has seen some
At the
things.
meeting, like at the meeting in the morning, they're like, don't go to the horse.
Oh
Oh
man.
man. I don't know
This movie ruled.
Yeah.
I love
Does
it.
anyone
Yeah,
have any
But-
like
This podcast is way better than the movie, guys. Really. Come on.
I think
All right,
you.
Escape
I
from
think the
LA or
movie's
Escape
great.
from New York? Which one's better?
Fuck you for even asking that.
you know, I actually think it might be this one,
I think this.
Fuck
is
you for
better.
saying that.
but
Oh my god.
it's not.
What was the point of New York? New York was the one where the president's
Prison.
plane crashed, and he had to
The
like save the
president, yes.
Yeah, honestly, it kind of seems like Air Force 1 through 3 are really not doing their jobs in this cinematic universe.
They need to just not use planes, instead just use like these like what was it, like
Helicopters.
powered submarines and shit.
Nuclear powered helicopters.
I like the plot in Escape from New York better, and there's no real need for special effects, you know, like because it's the 80s and there wasn't really any. This
Yeah.
has
I like that Isaac Hayes' limousine, instead of baby heads, had chandeliers. Way better choice.
yeah, Isaac Hayes is also pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Better badass bad guy in quotation.
Cabby was way cooler than Eddie. Like, love Steve Buscemi, love Map of the Stars Eddie, but Cabby was fucking sick.
Yeah.
I
I
think the
recorded an
character is
episode on that, but
cooler.
it got lost.
Was that Hugo?
I think the characters. I like a lot of the characters in Escape from LA a little better than Escape from New York. I think Escape from New York is a better movie just because it's the first one, and it, like you said, there was no special effect. There was nothing to make it cheesy. It was just good, you know.
Well, Escape from New
LA,
York was. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say Escape from LA does come off a little annoying just because the CGI is so bad, and like the storyline is kind of like taken from Escape from New York. It's like beat for beat, almost the same. You know, like I think didn't he have like a boxing match in Escape from New York or something with like different weapons? It was like the basketball scene. Like there's a lot of the same things going on, but I don't know. Escape from LA. I think the only reason I like it more is because I was a kid when it came out, so I was more excited for it, and like it was like a better experience. It wasn't like watching Escape from New York on VHS, you know.
Ah, yes.
Like,
Nostalgia, the veins of my
it was
existence.
a lot.
I like, and this is going to sound like a joke, but I'm being dead serious. Escape from New York feels like an actually real movie, and Escape from LA just feels like a parody.
Yeah,
You're right.
I get-
You're
yeah.
right. That's
Yeah.
true.
I was
Especially
thoroughly by this movie the entire time, though.
What was that, Libby?
I was thoroughly entertained by this movie the entire time, though. Like even every cheesy computer graphics, every like when she was like, this place isn't so bad, and fucking got when
God.
she like that was I cannot stress to you how much I loved that scene. It was entertaining the whole way through, and
I
I
think-
have no Escape from New York because I've never seen that one.
I tried to provide it for watching, but
Yeah.
Google hit me with a copyright violation.
Dun dun dun.
Ooh.
I want them to remake it again. Like, let's do Escape from Cleveland, and it'll be history. It'll be history repeating itself first as tragedy, then as farce.
Someone asked him if he would do it as like Escape from DC and like somehow like that, and he's like, "Oh, maybe," but like he's not.
What
actually
would be
gonna
okay? So what would be the plot line if he did make Escape from Cleveland? So we had the president crashing in New York. The president's daughter joins Shining Path in LA. What would be Cleveland?
We get to
She
find
joins the Cavaliers. Like what?
So
what
for
happens?
some reason, Mao has taken over Cleveland.
Canadian forces have invaded
Mao
Ohio.
came back. Mao has returned, and Kurt Russell needs to intervene. But
They
also,
needed
it
to
can't
save the landlords.
cool.
watch.
Oh,
watch
yeah,
the-
it could be
what
tricky.
they- what-
Cleveland, aka Ho Chi Minh City, America.
their big like, you know, the earthquake that felt like that caused LA to go in. They had a train derailment in Cleveland. That's just the whole shit.
Libby, I'm trying to listen to you, but I'm so entertained by Nelson absolutely losing his shit over there.
I guess yeah.
Did you say it would be like a train derailment?
Yeah. So I don't know what the like catalyst in New York was to like make it separate, but like in LA, how they had the earthquake that like separated LA so that they could like make it its own little island. In Cleveland, Ohio, they would have a train derailment.
Maybe it spills some
Oh,
toxic
too soon.
shit down, and then it turns the city into like a mutantville, and they have to like.
Yeah, they're all mutants,
Yeah.
and only the landlords survive.
Yeah, because leeches and cockroaches will always survive.
Wait, we gotta go back. Hold on, time out. I gotta go back. Fucking Brandon called it Ho Chi Minh City. God damn, that was so fucking funny. I don't know why I'm losing my shit over that. That was so goddamn funny. It would be in fucking Ohio.
We could.
It's like a Drew Carey stand-up routine.
I'm fucking crying.
We could recreate it because it's now a prequel. Because remember, it happened before everything. So it's a young Kurt. So we could pick somebody that looks like a young Kurt Russell
Oh my
to
god.
play. To play Snake. And
I
it's before
almost-
everything happened.
I could see them doing a requel treatment for it, where kind of like they did with The Thing, where it's the sequel, but it's a remake, but it's a prequel.
Okay.
Yeah. I recently learned the term for that is requel, where it's a remake, prequel,
Oh, okay.
sequel thing.
Yeah.
I
Say.
like requels. I think it makes sense to do like an origin story.
Like the Alien,
except for
or
the
like
one
a-
with except for the Han Solo one. That one was dumb and did not need to exist.
Well, but that wasn't really remaking anything. I was just using like existing like characters.
I will
you're
say
right, I guess.
I didn't see that movie, but the coolest thing about it is when so what was in America? What did they release? What was the name of the Han Solo movie in America?
Solo.
It was just
Solo.
Solo. So apparently that didn't translate in Mandarin. So in China, it's Ranger Solo. And I was like, it's the fucking coolest name ever. That's like my friend and I want to
Ranger
start a pop
Solo.
punk band called Ranger Solo because it's such a cool fucking name.
Oh, so like instead of the Lone Rangers from
Yeah.
Airheads, it would be like Solo Ranger.
I was just
Oh,
like,
man,
he
Airheads.
told me that. He's just like, yeah,
but
for some reason it
it's
translated to
definitely-
Ranger Solo. I was like, oh my God, it's so fucking
Steve
great.
Buscemi.
Oh, Airheads is a classic. That was
Oh,
always
I
on
haven't seen it.
MTV.
I haven't seen it.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been weeks since I've seen Airheads. I need to rewatch that.
Yeah.
I just love Steve Buscemi. He's great.
Yeah.
My
Yes,
cousin
him and
met him
Adam
twice
Sandler.
because they did Big Fish down here and down in Montgomery and Wetumpka. So like he was down here just like roaming around. My cousin like met him twice and got his autograph and whatnot. I was like, you bastard.
Also, isn't Brendan Fraser in Airheads? Is he like the
Yeah.
main
Oh,
guy?
yeah.
He's
That's
great
right.
in that.
Adam Sandler too.
That's right.
Joe Montana, Lemmy, Chris
Who's-
Farley,
And there's like the
White Zombie.
And there's the guy. There's the dude who keeps like hiding in like the vents. Like the
Yeah,
characters of-
Uh,
It was Kramer.
the guy from Kramer. Yeah, Kramer from I don't remember his real name, and you shouldn't remember his real name. That was the dude who got super racist for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah. They should, John Carpenter basically has said like he probably isn't even going to make another movie, probably just like produce them. He's like, I don't want to do that really anymore. He's kind of old. So someone could make it. Everyone remakes his movies, right? They may remake a lot of his movies. So fuck it.
They said they were gonna make. They said they were gonna remake it with Timothy Oliphant as Snake. I think that was gonna happen at some point.
Oh, I hate that actually kind of seems right.
Who is
Right?
Timothy Oliphant?
You ever seen Justified
Maybe.
TV show? Oh, I think he was. God, I can think of some other stuff he's in, but nothing like that. I could realistically expect people to have seen.
He was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. No,
That's him.
Was
right?
he?
no.
Yeah,
Isn't that
that's
him?
him.
Yeah.
Here he is.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Okay, I could see that.
Yeah. He's he could do it. He does. Yeah, Justified with the hat thing. Yeah.
As long as it's not what's his face, Chris Pratt, who's like in fucking everything now. Like, as long as it's not him playing Snake.
I would not watch that.
No.
You know, the reason I like Timothy Olyphant is because of Deadwood. Remember Deadwood?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
If they put Chris Pratt in like an Escape from Whatever movie, I'm going to use that like thing that like knocks us all back to at the end of this movie, so we don't ever have to see it.
Dude, just imagine him being in a remake where like he's like dancing and cracking jokes, and somebody's just like, "What's up, Pliskin?" And he's just like, "Actually, hey, my name's Snake." Woo!
Oh God. Oh. It's like what Harrison Ford said if they tried to remake Indiana Jones with Chris Pratt, he'd be like, "No."
What if they
Well, they also shouldn't be making it with him. It seems.
Yeah, true.
What if they did Jason Momoa?
Ooh.
Ooh, a snake.
A snake?
With or without the eyeliner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Jason Momoa pull off a call me snake. Yeah,
I think you could.
I think you could.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Jonah Hill is Snake Plissken.
Oh, Michael Cera. Ooh, what about Michael Cera?
What about just a Steve Buscemi spinoff just about his character, about the guy?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Possibly controversial opinion. I would much rather see expanded universe than remakes or sequels. Anything
cool.
like leave like okay, you've created a somewhat interesting universe in Escape from New York and Escape from LA. Just leave the characters alone. Come up with somebody new, and like because the only way to do Cleveland would be a prequel with like a bunch of characters that are fucking 80 years old now. I don't know if you're really gonna recruit Pam Grier again, but just do something else in that fucking universe. Clearly, plenty's going on. Set something in fucking New Las Vegas, Thailand. I would watch that movie.
Fucking Ho Chi Minh City, Ohio.
They should get Zach Galifianakis.
Oh my God. Russell Brand is Snake Plissken. He's already got the hair.
God, no.
Oh no.
Anyone got any last thoughts on the movie? This
is a cinematic masterpiece. Is peak Americana.
Peak 90s for sure.
Yeah.
This is the Fast and Furious of post-apocalypse movies.
Holy shit.
It's the Furious 5 of post-apocalypse.
Evan, that's the next pod. You have to do all the fat from 1 through whatever, how many million.
There's
Fast
on 10
Furious
now,
movies.
right?
There's 10, yeah. Fast and Furious 10. Like you should do
Oh my God.
one podcast episode from 1 to 10. Just
Wait,
Oh,
Brandon,
knock 'em
aren't
all
you
out.
doing that on
Like,
your
aren't they
podcast?
paying
I keep trying to get us to do movie episodes, and no one's done it. Evan, do you want to motivate my show? Come on and do a Fast and the Furious movie with us.
Ah, fuck it. I'll do it.
Aren't they like paying people like $1,000 to sit and watch the whole fucking Fast and the Furious thing? I think I would need someone to pay me money to watch all 10 of them.
Are you saying that this is some sort of like psych experiment where they're like paying people and that they're measuring like the psychological damage?
No, they did this. They did this last year,
It's the
2
Joe
years ago
Rogan
at the Alamo
podcast.
Draft House. You could stay for like 22 straight hours and watch the first 9 of them. Like
Oh
it was
my
a-
Wait, you had to pay?
$3,000
Yes, you
bucks
have to
or
pay.
something.
No. I believe Libby is saying how much it would take to pay her to do that.
Yes.
I'd do it for $1,000. I'd do it.
If it was in a sticky brothel, then yeah, I'd sit there and watch all 10 Fast and
I'd be
Furious.
able to check my phone the whole time though. Can't take my phone away.
Only if they do something about the smell of the rotting guy that's been crucified.
I don't know. The first one is. I mean, I haven't seen all of them, but like the few that I've seen, like the first one is actually, it's a decent movie.
I think
First
I saw
one's
the
normal. Yes.
theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have stopped after Paul Walker died. The fact they kept going after he died is so fucked.
Honestly, they should have started at 5.
Which one was 5? I don't remember.
I don't know. It's just I'm going midway because that's when the whole thing really just goes completely off the rails, and they're like, "Fuck how fast this car can go! Can it fly in space?"
Oh yeah.
I saw a clip of like the most insane things that happened. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked, but yes, there were a bunch of insane things that happened in those movies, even though I've never watched them. Where like he just steps on the cement and the street breaks, and like him and what's his name, friggin' I don't remember. Dude, it's crazy. We need to watch those. I don't want to watch them, but I feel like
Escape
I should, right?
Escape from LA Fast and Furiously to the Tokyo Drift coming this summer.
Actually, to figure out which Fast and Furious movie we should watch, we'll just roll a D10. It's perfect.
Yeah, that's true.
That's perfect.
But Escape from LA is an amazing movie. I think it's fun. I think like Libby said, it's like entertaining from beginning to end. There's no dull moments. There is no part in the movie where you're like, this is boring. Like every single part, you're like, yeah, here we go. Oh, there's something else.
Yeah.
Now they're playing basketball. All right,
Oh,
great.
shit.
You know, it's like it never stops for 1 second. 90 minutes of fun.
I don't hate style over substance as long as I know that's what it is, and that's what this is. It's all fun, but it's not saying a fucking thing. It almost feels like it's kind of gonna say something sometimes, but it fucking does not. Shining Path, I don't know, bad, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
you.
No, I think it's good. It's apparently the only problem, like it's not available for people who want to go watch it. You have to find it in quotation marks if you'd like to watch this movie. Unfortunately, there's like I think there's a copyright dispute or some shit. That's why it's not available anywhere.
Okay.
Fucking movie.
It's all Tool's fault.
Yeah, tools in the movie. They're like, you can't watch this
like,
movie because of this.
I did a song with Rage Against the Machine, and now I love the cops. And I just, fuck yeah, I know the pieces fit copyright dispute. Fuck you, John Carpenter. Yeah, it's just like it's definitely Tool's fault.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Nelson, Brandon, Hugo, Libby, thank you for sticking around to talk about this 90s classic.
Thank you for having us.
Dude, this was a blast.
I
was
love
fucking
doing this.
great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, you guys can you can listen to Nelson's podcast and Brandon's podcast on, I guess, everywhere.
Wherever podcasts are available.
Even in dystopian LA, you can still listen to their podcast.
Follow on all the social media at What's Left of the South, or what is our fucking handle now? It's a I say W Lots Pod. There we go. W Lots and then Pod all squished together. I couldn't think of a cool thing though, because it was like .pro, like when we extended the proletariat. I couldn't think of a cool thing for What's Left of the South. I was just like, fuck it.
And you guys, Brandon, are at Cars and Comrades podcast.
Yeah, Cars and Comrades most everywhere. That's I don't know. I don't do any of the socials, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks everyone for listening to Left of the Projector, and we will catch you next time.
Cool.